These are the sounds of Solvei, a singer and songwriter who's well known in her native Scandinavia and is making a splash in the world music circuit in the United States. After performing in Norway and Rome this spring, the Ventura County-based musician is preparing for her first local concert in some time. Solvei talks about her unique blend of musical styles, which have led to her music being played by both jazz and alternative music stations.
What I'm currently very involved in is an interesting mix of world beat, which comes from some of the Afro-Peruvian sounds, as well as with my love for jazz. And I mix it with some of the Latin salsa, and it just becomes what I do. I draw from a lot of different sources.
Solvei's last name is McKenna, but she simply goes by Solvei. She has an international upbringing, which led to her being exposed to all kinds of music.
I was born in Germany, but I don't have any relationship to Germany, but I was born there because both my parents were singing in Germany. We moved to Chicago. My father was from Chicago. And we lived there for about 3 years, and then the rest of the time I grew up in Norway. Right now I just returned from Oslo, so I have a little more of an accent because I've been talking Norwegian for the last few weeks.
She's a petite blonde and probably fits the stereotype you might have of a Norwegian. Her looks and talent led to a career as a backup dancer. She toured with Elton John and was in some of his music videos. But an injury forced her to rethink her career. Singing was the answer. She actually didn't have to look far for it because music filled her childhood and her teen years.
I grew up listening to everything. Both my parents were opera singers, so I was very accustomed to spending almost all day and night in the opera house. I listened to a lot of jazz, and then when I became a dancer, I was exposed to a lot of musical theater and modern music. And I think it all kind of affects me when I start writing and when I start a new piece. It all blends in.
Vem pra cá, gatinha. Isso. Assim, assim. Pra mim, vem.
Two lovers in paradise. Your arms around me.
This is another Solvei song called Two Lovers.
I'm drifting by.
Vendo o tempo passar.
We dream as lovers do.
She talks about her musical influences.
I listen to a lot of Van Morrison, and my music is probably as far from Van Morrison as it can be, but I love his sound. I also listened a lot to Sting. I'm a huge fan of Sting. And I listen to all the great jazz artists, from Julie London to Ella Fitzgerald to Sarah Vaughan especially. I was very influenced by the jazz standards in that era. And I also listened to a lot of Rachmaninoff and classical music. Susanna Baca and the Afro-Peruvian type of music. The rhythms can be quite challenging, but I really love the drum.
You can hear some of her love of drums in the song Home. Solvei says why she has 8 albums, is busy touring, and even has been the subject of a multi-part Scandinavian television documentary. It's still tough to get her music on the air sometimes because it doesn't fit or crosses traditional categories like jazz or world music.
I'd rather do what I do that comes from my heart, my soul, than trying to mold my music into something and that will cater to commercial radio. I do it for the love, and I do it for the pure expression of what my soul wants to do.
And if Latin jazz and world music aren't enough, she also composes some trance and meditation music popular as house music, yoga, and for meditation. She not only blends styles but languages, not only speaking in multiple languages but performing in them.
I sing in French, I sing in Spanish, I sing in Norwegian, and of course I sing in English.
This weekend, Solvei is going to showcase Latin jazz in a Saturday night performance at Carpinteria's Plaza Playhouse Theater.
Getting people moving and feeling good and wanting to get up and dance, and it's going to be a lot of Latin and and jazz. It's going to be some wonderful tribal African sounds and rhythms.
What does Solvei hope that people experience from her music?
The biggest thing is I'd like them to find rooms inside themselves that they may have shut down. I'd like them to experience a sensuality, a sense of peace, as well as invoking a sense of endless possibilities and passion. Most of all, I'd like it to inspire people, inspire them to want to express themselves.
You can find out more about the Ojai artist as well as the Saturday night concert by going to our website, kclu.org, and clicking on the links under KCLU Featured Local News Stories. Lance Orozco, KCLU News.
Treating you right.